Good morning.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can one of you speak so I can hear you guys?
Can you hear us, Professor?
Why can't I hear you?
Hello?
Professor, you activate the audio?
There you go. For some reason, it selected speakers, but I don't have my speakers connected. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear us?
Yeah, I did have the audio, but for some reason it started with the speakers. Okay, so I just sent you in Slack a file called SVG. I want you to incorporate it in the JS folder, create a new project. I think I have it over here. I think it's going to be a little bit faster. Just gonna, not this one. I'm gonna give you this so you don't have to type it. That's the Slack, so you can copy it and paste it here. Okay, so the main JS is just gonna have that array and just this. And index is just gonna have this part here. And actually, I'm gonna give it an ID. Don't forget the file that I gave you, svg.js, add it to your HTML file so you can use it. Got it?
Yes, got it.
Everybody else?
Yes.
Okay. And the CSS file, we're going to change this part a little bit here to column chart. And we're going to erase this because this was for the other one. And we don't need it. I copied it. Oh, hashtag. Okay. Everybody good? Just give me a second, please. Where am I? My computer is doing strange things. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to create a column chart. You know, just a normal column chart. Let me show you which one we're going to create. So we're going to create something like this. Yep. So this is a we're going to have temperatures and draw rectangles with SVG representing the different temperatures. So as you can see here is nothing special. We're just putting a text and lines and rectangles, and that's about it. But um, just like the battery that we did, the size of the rectangles are going to correspond with the value that we're actually displaying. So that part we already did, and so it's going to be basically the same. The only thing here is that instead of actually drawing every rectangle by hand, let's say, directly in HTML, and we actually don't even know how many rectangles we're going to have, we're going to create a function that's going to draw lines and text and rectangles and stuff like that. That function, I already gave you that. It is the svg.js file. So you don't have to get it too much into this. I already did it. So we're just gonna use it. Okay. So let me show you how it works. We have the index, which again is empty, and in style, we're gonna create a style for the title. So let's create a title. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So let me show you how these functions here that we don't actually need to open the file, just incorporate it in your index here. How it's gonna work? Okay. So we're gonna go here. We have a method called draw chart that we're already executing. So first we're going to draw the title. Actually, right title. Okay. So hold on, let me accept somebody here. Okay. So we're going to use a class called SVG. That is the class that I gave you. By the way, these methods that I'm giving you, they're done by me. So you're not going to be able to find them in the internet unless one of your classmates puts them in there. So these are not actual JavaScript or SVG methods. They're my methods. Okay. So don't try to find a method called write text or something like that because it's not going to exist. I created it. So we have a method called write text. And the first thing that's going to ask is, oh, sorry. No. The first thing that is going to ask is for the division, the parent element, where I'm going to actually draw the text. In that case, it's going to be this one, column chart. Okay, so I'm going to go column chart. Sorry. So I'm going to say column chart. And then the second part is going to be a JSON object that's going to have all the attributes of the text. Okay. So what we're going to do here is first we're going to say text. So we're going to say weekly weather. Okay, like you can see, it's just a JSON object. Now, if I were to do this, just this, you will see that I'm showing an error message. Start position is not set. So I actually have to set up the start position. That one, when I created the file, I set up a whole bunch of different errors. And in the case you don't send them, I'm going to show you an error message that you're missing start position. Okay. So I need to put a start position. So I'm going to say start. This is where it's going to start. And again, if I send it, it's going to say that it needs X and Y. So I need to give it an X and Y. So X, I'm going to say 50%. And Y is going to be, let's say, 50 pixels. So that should work. That displays a text, but it doesn't have the style that I want. Okay, so this one, I just want to apply a class. So I'm going to say CSS class is going to be title, the one I created. This one that I created here, title. So now I have it the way I want it. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. Got it?
I get it.
Got it.
Got it.
Professor, we can't hurt you. Hurt you. Hurt you. I'm sorry, I had mute. Okay, everybody understands how it works? Guys?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to draw the y-axis. So I'm going to draw it from here to here. It is important that you guys understand, but I'm not going to teach you that part because you learned it in probably middle school, that a vertical line goes from top to bottom. A horizontal line goes from left to right. So in case of coordinates, vertical line, the which value does not change, the x or the y? That's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
The x doesn't change, and for a horizontal line, the y doesn't change. Okay. So first, I'm going to draw the y-axis, and I'm going to create a style that's going to be called axis line. So this is just going to be a line, so it's going to be stroke very light. So maybe 999. Actually, okay. So very simple line. So I'm going to draw again SVG, draw line. And again, I'm going to give it the SVG element where I'm going to add it. And again, it's going to be a JSON object. So in this case, I'm going to say start. Again, X. I'm going to say 15%. Y is going to be, let's say, 100 pixels. And then in the case of line, it's going to be end. Where does it end? And again, X is going to be the same, 15%. And Y is going to be, in my case, since this is 500 pixels, I'm going to say 400 pixels. And in this case, it's going to be CSS class, axis line. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so just give me a second, please. Okay, so now what I want to do is, here's the interesting part. I want to draw the chart lines, these little dash lines and the values, but I don't want to draw them one by one. Okay, I want to draw them with a loop. So I want to go from 40 to 0 and start drawing them. So I need to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Okay. So those 5 lines, what would be the y value for those 5 lines? Remember that we're starting at 100 and we're ending at 400. So what would that be? I want to start from 100 and I want to end at 400. So this one, that's going to be 40, 30, 20, 10, and 0. And remember, right now we're at 100. That is the y value. Oh, let me just move this thing over here. This is y. And we want to get all the way, this one is at 400. Okay? So I want you to tell me, this one here, what is the value of y? Come on, use your brains.
75, I think. 175.
175. Anybody else has a
And-
different answer?
And the middle.
Okay, let's start with this. What is this value?
175, I think.
Is how much?
175.
100? No, this value. The distance between, the
Between
separation between each one.
75.
Everybody in agreement? 75?
I think it's 100. I think.
You think it's 100?
Yeah.
If it were 100, this would be at 200, right?
Yep.
300? 400?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes.
Okay. Remember, it's not all the way from the top. Is from where the lines start. So yes, the separation here is 75. So this would make it 175. This would make it through 250. Somebody's moving my computer. Then 325. And finally 400. That looks better, right? Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Understood.
Okay. So I'm not going to draw all these lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a loop that's going to modify y, and y will start where? What would be the value of y?
100.
100.
And is increment to 75 in 75.
Okay, remember the other part of a loop would be y, would be the condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would that be?
Equal to 1.
No, it can't be equal.
Or equal.
What would this be? Does that look good? Does this loop help me with this?
Hmm?
Did you not understand the question?
What you can repeat the question?
Could you pay attention?
Yes.
Okay, are you paying attention?
Yes.
I asked, does this loop help me to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me erase this. Well, I'll clear it later. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the for loop. Which you guys already know how to do. I'm not going to teach you that part. And I'm basically going to copy this part here. Okay. But I'm going to modify this part here. Okay. So this, actually, since they are vertical lines, the first one is going to start at 15. The other one's going to end at, let's say, 80. So this one's going to end at 80%. And this one is going to start at not 100, but it's going to start at y, the variable y.
I think we have to change the y in start and end.
No, there's not a problem.
Okay.
This is an attribute. This is a variable. It's not a
Okay.
problem. Okay, let me just, well, hey, I did pretty good drawing the lines, didn't I?
Yeah.
Especially this one. Okay, let me erase that part. Let me clear it up. Supposed to clear all drawings. There you go. Got it?
I get it.
Got it.
Okay, but I want the lines to be dashed. So I'm gonna create another style here. Let's say dash line. Yep. So it's gonna be stroke dash array. And remember, it's the length of the line, the length of the space, and so on. So in this case, I want it to be the line a little bit smaller than the actual dash. Okay, so I'm gonna add it here. So it's gonna be like that. Okay. Now, I also want the values here. I want to create values, 40, 30, 20, 0, etc. So what I'm going to do is, instead of, actually, it's not going to be dash lines. It's going to be values and lines. So I'm going to do something like this, degrees. I'm going to start with 40. It's going to be lines. If we already did this one, we can actually kind of collapse it, so you don't have to see it. Okay? Just collapse it, don't erase it. That's the cool thing about a JSON object. You can collapse it, so it doesn't have to take up all your space there. You want to open it? Just open it. Okay? So these are going to be the values. And the same, I'm going to copy this one and put it here, but I need some styles here. So axis label is going to be fill AAA, font size 10 points, axis y-axis label with text anchor end. That means they're all going to end at the same part.